Hello. Let me pull up the chat. Please note I remembered my spectacles today so that I will be able to see the comments that you make. So far this morning, I have flooded 3 aquariums, soaked my chair, realized that neither of my 2 computers were plugged in, and it is 1 in the afternoon and I'm still drinking my morning coffee. Who else is having that kind of a day? Yeah, I flooded the 150. I forgot I was filling it. I am proud. I am proud. So I never got around to picking a topic. So what do you guys want to talk about today? Oh yes, happy Earth Day, everyone. Yesterday was my daughter's 16th birthday. It was very exciting. I felt bad for her that she has to have her 16th birthday during a pandemic. Neen13 asked if I think purple harlequins would be a good candidate for summer tubbing. Yes, absolutely. Harlequins or the trigonostigmas in general do quite well. I know, at Fish Ed, I'm excited about tubbing too. I need to get out there. But as Jesse said, the weather has been very schizophrenic this spring. I mean, we had days that I was out there in like shorts and a tank top, and then last night we had a freeze warning. It is very confused, which makes it difficult to get started on tubbing. But generally May is when it really gets going anyway. Robert said that Alex at Tank Tested has a vid this week with you. Yeah, we're doing a live stream tomorrow night at 7. So if you guys aren't following Tank Tested, make sure you do so. I'll be sure to put a link on my story or my community tab or something somewhere, somehow, someday. I don't even really know what day it is right now. It is, I am tired of being home. Can you put I don't know what you're asking. Today's Wednesday? Okay. I just set reminders for myself of when I have to do things, because really every day is just so much blending into the next. I honestly have no clue what day it is. I feel like an infant. My days and nights are mixed up. All right, so I went around. Oh, I have something to tell you guys. In the 75-gallon South American Nano, apparently my Epistos spawned quite a while ago, because there are like 1-inch fish, like reaching sexual maturity, swimming around that I had no idea were in there. It's pretty crazy. We'll take a look here in a few minutes and I'll see if I can show you. I don't see a whole lot of them, I think because of the dominant male Episto in there, but I was very surprised yesterday as I was sitting here looking at that aquarium to see like a male nearing sexual maturity just show up out of the weeds. So, fish are neat. All right, who has questions for me? Yeah, I'm ready to get out of the house. Now, here's the thing about me and this coronacation. I never leave my house. I'm always alone. I have no idea why this is so difficult for me when I literally am living my exact same life. I just think I don't like being told what to do. Who knows? Am I into punk rock? Yeah, I am an aging punk rocker. I used to do punk rock booking in Philadelphia for, gosh, almost 15 years in the early 90s, and it was a good time. But now I just am a nerd in my basement, so. Yeah, Coronication. I gotta call it something, you know. Let's take a look at some fish. What do you guys want to see first? Oh, jeez, I forgot I had you plugged in. Let's see if I can find some of these. Oh, look, see, right there is. That's the little male that I just saw for the first time yesterday. So the 150 I flooded this morning, or actually like 20 minutes ago. So it is all kinds of stirred up because I forgot that I was filling it and flooded it pretty badly. But, you know, I do that a lot. Actually, I do that almost every day. I forget that I'm filling an aquarium, and I'll leave the entire fish room, and then I'll hear the sound. I have water monitors by my floor drains because I do this so often. I'll hear the water monitor go off, and it's just like, oh man. Yeah, it's a heck of a water change. I do about 40% on this aquarium every week. And because it's such a big tank, it takes a while for it to drain and fill. So, you know, I put the hose in there, and then I get distracted looking in other tanks, and then all of a sudden I have a mess. These panda cories spawned this week too. There's babies in there. I doubt that I'll be able to show you guys because they tend to hide out back behind the driftwood. I don't use any fertilizers, Chase, which is why you'll see as we look in my tanks, there are some nutrient deficiencies. But with the amount of planted aquariums I have, like I don't know. I don't think my feeble brain can keep up with a fertilization routine, so I tend to just choose plants that survive what I do. These guys are so stinking cute. Thank you, Shane. Oh, boy. These Hemigrammus filamentosus, I can't remember their common name. That spawned, that I found fry last week, spawned again. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see. There's a baby right there. See that little tiny dude? Thank you, Eve. I'm kind of excited. I was looking in the guppy tank today. This is the one I showed you guys. Who am I kidding? I don't know what day it is. Or I don't know when I put out content. The rice fish were spawning, and I was kind of concerned about the guppies in here because I don't heat my tanks, so I was worried. A lot of times with live bears, temperature determines the gender, and I was concerned I was going to have all girls because it's a cooler tank. But I noticed today there's one right there that some of the little guppies are coloring up as males, so that is not an issue. But that's a topic I'd like to talk about in the future. Someone's asking to see the wild bettas. I gotta climb a ladder for that. Ooh, I just almost fell. This guy is so sassy. Temperature can impact gender with live bears. So like if you keep the tank really cool, you'll get a lot of females. If you keep it really warm, you'll get a lot of males. If you keep it in the ideal range, you'll get a good mix. And I wasn't sure what was going to happen in that tank. These are Beta Maha Chiensis. Over here in the algae farm are Embellus, but I never see those fish. They are the shyest fish I have ever kept. They're ridiculously shy, and this tank is set up beautifully for a fish to feel secure, and they just say nope. Well, Michael, you know, there's a lot. I know with, for instance, my wild endlers, which are in this aquarium, which is heated to 82, I get more males than females. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of variables here, but I have seen it be true in real life. I'm not sure if you guys can even see them, but there's a lot of male endlers in there, which is kind of good because they're a great little nano fish. But the females are super plain. Someone asked to see the big boys. I should feed them for you. They're so cute. This one went on a tear this morning and was chasing everybody. He's never been aggressive. I'm not sure what his deal was. Thank you, Carol. I need to actually get into this tank and work in it. It's getting this string algae, but this fish bites like I have scars from him. So I don't really like working in this tank with the lids open. Someone asked about the penjang as well. I still need to address some issues with it, but the Ficus salicifolia are doing really, really well. The algae tank. I love this tank. It's one of my favorites. My friend Ricky actually designed this aquarium for me way back when. We did not intend for it to be covered with algae. That was my doing. But, yeah. The goldfish are doing well. I also flooded this aquarium this morning. If the power goes out, I have a whole house generator, Carrie. Or is that how you say that name? I don't know. I know I say that about every tank, but it's true. Oh, I didn't know there was a Pleco in there. Huh. Sure, you can see the polypters. Dude, if I don't flood 2 tanks a day, something is broken. There's a reason I have concrete floors. And corner drains, and I keep all of this in my basement, not on my hardwood floors. Well, I breed. All of these plecos breed so much, and like this aquarium I just set up, well, I broke down and moved stuff around to put all these natives into quarantine, and that pleco probably moved with the piece of wood I put in there. The polypters are, I think, 12 years old, because these are the breeding adults of that fish that I just found in that other tank. And they're just like everywhere. When you look around, there's those ancestors everywhere. They are almost the herpes of the fish world. They're so easy to breed. I can't get enough of watching this female crebensis. She is so pretty. And I want these guys. Look at this dude making a kissy face for you guys. That is a Hypancistris contradens. Captain Cranky Pants, someone's asking about you. Do you have anything you want to say about social isolation? Get off your lawn? Leave you alone? Why are we looking at you? Feed me? All of the things? He's doing well. Especially for a fish that's 15. Yeah, Matt is exactly what he says. He is a grumpy Gus. I need to do something with this tank. I need to put some livestock in it. Maybe I'll move the pygmy sunfish into there. Can I try and spot a coolie loach? I can try, but you see, they live in here. There are baby coolies too, but they are ever elusive. They tend to hang out back in the boulders in the wood back there. I don't see any of them. There are a ton in here too. The L306. You know, I had forgotten I have that fish because I'm a professional. It's in this aquarium. And I saw it yesterday and was like, oh yeah, I have a group of these. Because they don't show their faces. I have no idea where it is in this aquarium. Or there's, I think, 5 of them in here. But I literally, yesterday was the first time I'd seen them in months. So if you want a fish that you don't see, they're a good one. But when you do see them, it's a really pleasant surprise. You got to have an extra level of nerd to keep fish like that. But yeah, I don't see them at all. But I know they're in here because I have photographic proof. Yeah, I don't see them. I made a noble effort. I want to show you guys these pygmy sunfish because the boys are like bonkers blue. But, oh, there's one right here. You're never going to be able to see it though. They're like day glow blue, but they hug the substrate so tightly that like I can't get good footage of them. I think I'm gonna have to pull them out, and I actually drained this tank to potentially maybe do some sort of like a biotopy style setup or something else. I don't know. I drained it and now it's been sitting there empty and I don't know what I want to do. Because, yeah, I don't know. These guys want food so bad. Should I feed them for you guys? You want to hear them slap the water? See if I can set you up. The gars eat very aggressively. I should probably feed Captain Cranky Pants too. He would appreciate that. Oh, I love them. Let's feed Cranky as well. This fish room is a mess. He's pretty sprightly for an old dude, isn't he? All right, there's my mess. So let's take some questions. I don't think I'm going to stream for a full hour today. I just don't feel like it. So if you have any questions, now is the time. I have a soft spot in my heart for cranky animals too, and Captain is the crankiest of the cranky. That fish is such a jerk, but I love him, and I am going to be devastated when he ages out. I can't imagine not having him. I mean, I've had him for 15 years. It's a long time to have a fish. And he constantly has me in fear that he's not doing well, but he's always okay. Have I ever come to the UK? I've never been to the UK, but I would love to. I mean, all of my travel for this year is canceled through August so far. I have 4 trips that I had paid for airfare that are canceled, and the airlines are not honoring insurance, travel insurance. They said that the coronavirus was a predictable thing, so they are not giving refunds even if you purchased insurance. So I have a shit ton of credit, but just got to wait until the world is in a safe place to travel. Maybe I'd really like to go to Europe. I'd like to go visit my friend Esther at Aquaflora, you know. So, you know, we'll see. This is interesting times, to say the least. Yeah, Matt asked if I have any apistos currently breeding. I have cockatoides that apparently were breeding, but I never saw fry. And normally with apistogrammas, the females are extremely proud parents and bring their babies out in like this really cool little fry parade. I never saw that in here, but there's like 4 or 5 fish that are, you know, at nearing an inch that I didn't put in there, so they obviously bred. They must have been hanging out deep in the weeds to avoid being eaten by all the other fish in the aquarium, as well as by the dominant male apisto in there. So, what other animals do we have? We have chickens. We have cats. I bought my daughter guinea pigs for her birthday. That's it. Oh my God, that male apisto. Nanacara. No, I don't. I don't even know if I've worked with those. That's a great fish though. Do I heat my outdoor ponds at all? No. That project is called a penjang. Penjang is sort of similar to bonsai, but instead of it being a miniaturization of a tree, it's a miniaturization of a landscape. To me, it looks a little bit like a football. I'm tempted, I didn't make this, it was installed for me. I'm tempted to go and recarve parts of it, but the bonsai on it are doing so well that I haven't allowed myself to really do anything to it, though I'm sorely tempted. When I was in college, I have a few degrees, but one of them was in sculpture, and I was a stone carver, so I'm itching to go at that. But I'm trying to respect the creator by not doing it, but I really want to. Well, welcome, Lynette. I'm glad you're joining us. How big bare minimum for outdoor ponds to avoid temp swings? You know, here's the thing about summer tubbing. Look, we can talk about this real quick because this is the perfect time. I can't give blanket answers for what will work for you. What you really need to do, or what I would encourage you to do, is to really pay attention to your temperature range, and you can look up online as well the histograms, the general range of your day and night temps for durations. Like usually the ag offices track that stuff pretty closely, and for me, I like to use 7-gallon tubs. You can certainly go way smaller. The one that I bought at Tractor Supply last year, I think it's 40 gallons I love, and it was really cheap. It was not at all, I think it was maybe $30. I don't know, I'd have to look back at my own video to remember the facts. That one's really good. When you get smaller than that, it tends to be more of a pain, and you don't have enough room for plants. But for me, I set up my tubs when the overnights are in the mid 50s or higher. And the daytimes are generally in the 70s, and then the water stays, you know, with the overnight cool down, it does have a little bit of a shift, but it's really not as dramatic as you think. It's usually just like the top portion of the water that gets colder, and the fish just drop to the bottom. So they do really well. You got to remember, in nature, there's a shift. So, you know, really our contrived way of keeping aquariums with an absolute consistent temperature is not at all normal for most fish. How can I keep my pets alive? By caring for them. When am I coming back to Jersey? Well, as soon as the world opens again, I want to go back out and visit a few stores, and, you know, have some fun. I don't know. I have a few things. I had a lot of things planned. You know, it's pretty frustrating for everybody, not just for me, but it's pretty frustrating to be in the middle of projects and have to put them all on hold. Do you see the cars? I heard them. To put everything on hold, like my paludarium, I only got maybe a quarter of the plants I need for it, and I just can't get them right now. So the rarest fish species I have, probably that Cuban gar. There's only a couple of them in this country. I had to get that fish, I had to contribute to a thesis project for the University of Michigan on gar genetics, and then I had to purchase the fish and be approved to keep it. So that's definitely my rarest fish, and of course that's the stupid fish that jumped out and ripped his lower jaw. He's fine, he's just ugly now, which is unfortunate. Minimum tank size for an Oscar, I say, is 75 gallon for one. Bigger is always better. Captain Cranky Pants, I grew out in a 4x2x2, which is a 120 gallon aquarium. And I tried to keep him with other fish, but he just kept destroying other fish. Oscars really aren't that aggressive as far as like larger cichlids go, but Captain Cranky Pants did not get the memo. And he is just a bone thug destroyer. So he got moved into the 75 gallon by himself for the most part, about probably 10 years ago. And really that's a good size. Now, I think Captain is actually a girl. He's just a smaller Oscar. Some of the domestic strains get pretty beefy. So, you know, you have to take into consideration, like, the individual fish as well. What do I feed newly hatched Corydoras? I often will use filter squeezings as well as vinegar eels, things like that. I mean, really, you know, baby brine. There's all kinds of food that are good. Do I plan on having an extremely large tank? Yes, girls can be captains too. So I need to come up with an actual plan for an upgrade for these guys. I mean, I have a plan. I just have to figure out the logistics of doing it. That is the absolute largest aquarium that can physically fit into our house and down our stairs without cutting out the ceiling. So I need to build a bigger tank down here. And I'm considering doing it. I have a room that I've never shown you guys that's basically empty. I'm considering just building it in that room and then putting a viewing panel into the fish room. So like cutting out the wall and just having the aquarium be in there. But it's a big project, and I don't really know what I'm doing. So we'll see when that happens. It would probably not be out of glass, and Joey would absolutely consult. He's a really good friend to me. Can I use medication without a hospital tank? You can. Here's the thing with medication, like most of the time, if fish are sick and you know what you're treating, you need to treat everybody anyhow. But the sort of the benefit of using a smaller hospital tank is it's way less expensive. The tank I would like to build for the big boys is going to be at least 600 gallons. What should you feed baby endlers? They're not picky, just food that'll fit in their mouth. Have I bred Baracus? Yes, I have. Baracus do not breed prolifically, even in the tubs. I think I moved somehow, maybe it was 2 years ago, and I think I got like 8 fry the entire season. And 3 years ago, I got like 20 fry. So it was basically a wasted effort as far as in comparison to like all the other fish that I move out that do really, really well and breed prolifically. Would I ever add to the big boy family? You know, I have had an exceptionally difficult time getting any polypterus of quality. I've bought fish a few times, and I actually have one in with Captain right now, but it's not good enough quality. I'm going to end up giving it away. The problem is that these guys were wild caught when I got them, and they are huge, and it takes a long time for them to get that big. And the problem with polys too is they'll eat anything that fits in their mouth. So in order for me to be able to add more fish to this aquarium, I have to grow something out to roughly the same size as those, which takes, you know, they're 12 years old. So I probably won't add to that aquarium unless I were to go with a species, a completely different species, and something that got pretty sizable. And the thing is as well is that gar, I'm very careful with my gar. Gar are prone to darting, and they move extremely quickly, and they can easily break their beak or their nose or their back if they crash into the glass. So they don't generally do well with other fast moving fish. I'm not saying it can't work. People do it all the time, but rarely does it work out for like a super long time. So, you know, I'm really happy with my 5 fish. I don't really feel the need to add more. They're happy, they're thriving, they're beautiful. And, you know, I have them written into my will. Those fish are written in my will because they live so long. So, you know, getting fish like that is a really big responsibility. And I take it pretty seriously. So I doubt that I would add anything because they're doing so well. Pre-order. I'm not doing any pre-orders. We don't know how long this crap is going to last. I know in my state, in Pennsylvania, it's like every week they keep extending the stay-at-home orders. Right now it's through May 8th. And, you know, and I don't want to contribute to the problem, so I'm not willing to ship until it's all done. And since I'm not selling, like the fish aren't going to go anywhere, there's really no reason to pre-order. They'll be there when things open up. And hopefully they'll get spawning too, so I'll have even more. I do appreciate the support, but, you know, this whole state of the world makes it difficult to know when we'll be able to do the things we want. Thank you for that super chat, Ben. I don't know what clover mites are, Chris. So no, I haven't had that problem. Been asking if you can use your tap to get the right GH for instead of my bee shrimp salt. Um, I guess it depends on, I mean, I've always used tap water, but I have really nice, I have like, I call it magic water. I think it's part of the reason why all of my fish breed and my plants grow. But if you need to have softer water and you live in an area that rains and you can't get your mix, you can collect rainwater to mix with your tap to match parameters as well. Have I spawned scarlet gobies? Yes. And actually the rhinogobius maize face that I got are nearing maturity and have been showing breeding behavior. So when when they start to spawn, I'll try and capture that for you guys. But you know, fish don't generally like to spawn when you're watching, so it can be a real challenge to capture that kind of stuff. Derek, I don't work with angels. They're asshats, so you need to make sure that whatever you choose, it's over 2 inches or at least 2 inches, because adult angels can swallow deceptively large fish. I've seen firsthand otocinclus stuck in angels' mouths and smaller cories. So just, you know, pick your like typical community-sized fish. I'm not selling anything right now, Jersey. I just am staying home. Just like all of you, I'm sure. I don't still have clown killies, to whoever asked. Courtney, I am not going to sell my Coolies because trying to catch them out of that 150 gallon would be a nightmare. Now, if they continue to breed, and I can catch babies, I would pool babies as I find them, but who knows when I'll be able to do that. Yeah, I have longfin white clouds. Do you want this? I will be putting them out. I have two. I have my white clouds that I've been working with outdoors for almost a decade that have a really bold yellow fin, but not quite as long a finnage. And then one of you guys sent me some of your white clouds, which has super long, really red fins. So I was considering, I'm maintaining them separately right now. They're both just Nyctes albanubes. So I'm going to be moving them out, but I also thought about combining the 2 strains in a third tub to see sort of if I could get the super long, super yellow fins. But most of those projects, you know, it doesn't happen in a season. And they're both so nice and so different that I'm not sure what I want to do there. You know, I'm not sure if I would be, if I should just continue to maintain the line separately or not. The water in your 75 gallon is green. Green water is a pain in the ass. You know, blackout, like cover the tank and don't peak, can work if you can do that for like a week or more. It's generally a nutrient imbalance, and most often in my experience it comes if your aquarium is getting sunlight from like a window or sliding doors or something like that. So when I used to keep aquariums upstairs, I would get green water in one all the freaking time because my entire living room is all windows, and I had to actually put like the window cling background stuff on the sides and the back to prevent the light scatter from the windows that was coming in. UV sterilizer will work. Some people say that if you put like super fast growing plants, that will help. And there's like this old school technique. If you have like a willow tree, if you pull like a branch off, like a young branch, a green branch off a willow tree and put it in there, it'll start to try and root, and that'll suck the nutrients out. So, you know, really it's just figuring out why you're getting green water that is the most relevant, unless you want to run something like a UV sterilizer all the time. Is constant rain in outdoor tubs harmful? No. I mean, so I think that people often forget that fish come from nature. You know, like if you think about it, like it sounds stupid to say, but you know, they come from rivers and streams and lakes and areas where it rains. So it's not at all detrimental. To lower pH, Philip, you have to either use RO water or rainwater. And the biggest problem with messing with your pH and hardness is you need to make sure that things stay consistent. For most fish or most creatures, consistent parameters are way more important than the actual numbers. Now there are some exceptions. Shrimp are less tolerant. Some of the like wild bettas or licorice gouramis or things like that, those can be a bit more particular, but most of your like average fish can tolerate harder water fine. If we're being honest. Should I worry if my summer tub water isn't clear? Nope. No. I mean, I don't even water change my tubs. I don't feed my tubs. I don't maintain my tubs. The only thing I do with those is if it's been dry here, I'll top them off. But, you know, otherwise, sort of the point is that you don't have to do a whole lot. I cannot wait to get started tubbing. I really should be out in my greenhouse today. I could probably move shrimp out there already with how warm, since it's a greenhouse. But I need to get my yard tub set up. How long did it take your giant willow moss to get that big? I'd have to look back at my videos. I don't remember when I put it in there, but it's only been a couple of months, I think. I got it this winter. It's a great plant. I'm thinking about adding some to the paludarium. I breed shrimp. I have been working with freshwater shrimp since 2003 or 2004. So yeah, I work with a lot of shrimp. Am I going to get stingrays? Probably not. I really like them, but man, they are another fish that is super long-lived. And, you know, I already have a lot of responsibility with that. Oh, 150 gallon, that's awesome. Easy beginner garden produce to grow. You know, I think vegetables are exceptionally easy to grow. You know, you just like add dirt and add water. What's the plant growing out of the big boy's tank? There's pothos. Anything I'm thinking about doing but on the fence about, man, I have been being tormented with the idea of a little saltwater nano. Yeah, green beans are easy, peas are easy, tomatoes are easy, peppers are easy, lettuces are super easy, sweet potatoes are easy, onions are easy, carrots. I mean, I've grown all of it. Tips on caring for newly acquired flagfish. I have, oh my God, I have so many flagfish right now. They are breeding me out of house and home. I have 2 full tanks of them. I think the biggest thing with them is that the boys can be really snarky. So I just have that aquarium crammed with plants so that they can avoid each other, like break up line of sight. All right, do we have any more questions? I need more coffee. What fish would I recommend for a first-time breeding project in a 10-gallon? You know, there's so many. I think that one of the most fun fish to breed are dwarf cichlids, specifically epistogrammas, just because their parenting is so cool to watch. I don't know that they're easy. You set it up right and they'll breed for you, but raising the fry is really a challenge. Do spawning mops have to be green? Nope. They can be any color. I usually just go with green because all my tanks are planted and it looks a little less ugly. But it really doesn't matter what color they are. Yeah, platies do awesome in an outdoor tub. Most live bearers do, assuming that your climate is appropriate. Pistos are super rewarding, Tiffany. At one point I had freaking dozens. I go through phases with my fish keeping. We all know my nerd game is strong. But at one point, like all of my, I don't know if you guys, if you've been around, remember I used to have racks of tanks here and then racks of tanks over here, and they were all little tanks. They were all different species of apistos. And I loved them. But the problem for me is I was operating a business and people are cheap and it takes a lot of work to raise a pisto fry to a good size to be able to sell. And, you know, you're talking months and months, and people just didn't want to pay for them. So I stopped working with them, not because I didn't love them, but because I had to keep, you know, the power on and be able to pay for what I was doing. And, you know, they couldn't, I couldn't sell them for the amount it was worth to raise them. Have I ever kept mosquito fish? Yeah. No, I don't. I haven't kept mosquito fish. I have leased killies, which are sort of similar. Oh God, my early vids are so bad. Easiest egg layer in a 10-gallon, probably white clouds, or any of the small Danios are super easy to breed. Yeah, I've bred a lot of bettas. I've bred Simplex, the Mahachiensis, Embellis. Oh, I can't remember what they're called. They're really, really Chinoides. Oh wow, thank you, Trish. That's very sweet. Oh yeah, rice fish. I showed you guys. Again, I don't remember if it was this week, last week, or the week before. The rice fish that are in with the guppies and that impulsive aquascape, they're very easy to breed too. Johnny, I really believe acclimation is a mistake in a lot of circumstances. What's important to know is roughly the parameters they're coming from or being shipped in. So like if the seller is, you should be able to ask the seller and say, hey, what are your parameters? And they should be able to tell you. And if your water is similar or harder, I don't acclimate at all. Now, if it's coming from water with a decent amount of hardness and yours is very soft, then it's extremely important to acclimate. So if you think of the fish's kidneys like a pump, and all, you know, the various salts and whatevers are floating around. In hard water, there's a lot of them. In soft water, there's few. So they have to work harder to osmoregulate in soft water than hard. So going into soft water, you need to really do a slow acclimation. Going into hard water, it doesn't matter. I'm not sure if that made sense. I'm not feeling my most articulate today. It's probably because I only had 1 cup of coffee, and that is not a normal state of affairs for me. Oh, Hongsley, yeah. Oh, and Borelli are super nice too. Both are beautiful apistos. I made this cup. My daughter chose it and brought me my coffee today. Yeah, I need to go get coffee. All right, one more. See if we have any more questions super quick, and then I am getting out of here because I have a giant puddle to clean up, so I need to set up some fans, and I need more coffee. But I really appreciate you guys coming. I am going to do these every Wednesday, and I still do plan to put something on my community tab or my Instagram story to come up with a topic. I still also haven't tried to go live out at the greenhouse. I thought that would be fun. But you know, for being home all the time, I don't know where all my time goes. But thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you guys so much for those super chats. It really means a lot. And I will see you in the next video. Who knows what it's going to be, but it should be soon. So thank you guys.